Hello and welcome to Digital Moxy, where I bring you a podcast Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Well, to start out, this is my inaugural podcast with Digital Moxy. The reason I'm creating this podcast is because I've wanted to move in a direction of being very creator focused. I'm going to be driving forward with my YouTube channel. I wanted to have a podcast. YouTube is awesome. It gives you an opportunity to create different avenues on different levels. I mean, you could have a podcast, you could reach people in that way, or you could have your regular YouTube channel. Me, I would like to have both. I think that Digital Moxy can talk to people who are creators, who are in that creator mind frame. For instance, in about a couple days ago, I decided to. This is January, the first month of the year. I wanted to create something that's going to begin. Like for me, January is the beginning of the year. Okay, so it's a chance to start something fresh. It's a chance to start something new. And to be honest with you, sitting at home in the middle of the winter, because I have a seasonal job. When there's work, it's usually in the spring, summer, fall, and my winters are pretty slow. So as far as I'm concerned, doing something that I love, which is creating content, is right up my alley. So I've always dabbled with it. I've made other video channels. I've also, I had another channel where I had over 100 subscribers, and that's not a lot, but it's something, considering that there was a time when I had 0 subscribers. And, with the emergence of the YouTube shorts, with the emergence of the podcasting becoming a bigger thing, and then your basic YouTube channels, there's a lot of opportunity there, and there's a lot of resources or a lot of chance to get out there and put your voice out there. I just think because we live in a digital age and we have all these things in front of us, we should actually be trying to put content out. People are always looking for good content. And I'm not saying I have the best content. I just have me, Eddie V, at Digital Moxy. See, I made a little rhyme without even trying. But the reality of it all is, a week ago, I was scrambling to put together my resources. I went and I grabbed my camera. I have an EOS. Here he goes. Here's my EOS camera. It's a nice camera, but it didn't serve the purposes. Didn't serve my purposes. And let me see. So I have my EOS Rebel T7. Nice camera, but as far as vlogging or blogging or podcasting, I didn't like the microphone on it. It just seemed a little more clunkier than I needed it to be. So I said, you know what? Let me investigate using my phone for doing my podcast, my vlog, only because it would be temporary. They say use what you have. I would have used that camera. Yeah, it would have been okay. It wouldn't have been perfect. But then this Galaxy, I'm doing this video and this podcast off my Galaxy 20. And it seems pretty good. It's easy, but the thing is, I'm upgrading to a vlog camera. I'm investing in a Sony. I'll be getting that within a week. I'll talk about that on my next podcast when it gets here. About a couple other things. I have a bunch of tripods that I had from past. I have the lighting. I have microphones. So I said, you know what, dude? Time to utilize the things that I have. Stop procrastinating. In 2024, I want to also expand on a blog. I would like to create a blog related to content creation. I'd like to create a blog that's like a store. I'd like to sell different types of products, maybe transfer them over to Amazon. I want to leverage myself as best as I can. And the only way I could see that happening is by actually taking action. I do enjoy watching people talk about their journey in the creator space. I think that a lot of people want to do it, but I think the thing that everybody lacks is consistency. This isn't the first time I've made videos, but what it is the consistency of the making of the videos the ups and downs of succeeding, of not succeeding, of trying to be original. We have so many different things coming at us now. We have AI. You could create scripts from AI. You could create videos with AI. You could create pictures with AI. And the thing is that a lot of these people, innovators, are integrating AI into their content. But the thing is this: I'm not that sophisticated. I'm not that advanced. I'm a real basic individual who is learning how to utilize the things I have. For me, just transferring the data off this phone onto my computer and manicuring, producing my video, there was a learning curve. Within this week, I had to learn how to do that. I was using the wrong cable. I ended up buying I had the right cable, but I didn't know how to do it. I was going to be transferring the data from the phone right to the computer, but that was taking forever. So I ended up getting the right cable, the S cable, to a USB connection, plug that into the computer, plug that into my phone, transfer the data over, take that data and put it into my editing software, and then upload it to YouTube. The thing is this, that just the basic steps that I told you sounds really easy. But when you're, I'm not saying that I'm an old guy, but I'm a little bit older, and to me, just catching up and being on top of technology, something as basic as transferring data, you'd be surprised if you haven't done it, you don't know it, you got to learn it. And that's what I love YouTube so much. A lot of the things that I didn't know how to do, I ended up learning how to do within a day or so, a couple hours or so. I learned it off of YouTube videos. Another resource you have is Google. You could always Google something. If you don't know something, you could ask questions. And another thing on top of that is you could use AI. AI, literally, if you go to an AI bot and you ask it questions, it'll show you, it'll tell you how to do what you got to do. And I think that's powerful. So in a lot of ways, there is no question that goes unanswered nowadays, because you have every resource available to you. The only thing that you need to do is take action. And I think that the whole push about being a creator is about taking action. And that's what I love. Because in life, you are a creator. You go through your life every day doing things, creating something, creating a schedule, creating a meal. And the only way those things get created is if you take action. So I'm a big proponent of taking action. I've had so many honeydew stuff on my list, honeydew list, that a lot of it wasn't getting done. You know why? Because I wasn't taking action. So the biggest takeaway that I would take from this video is everything in your life is there and it's attainable to you if you're willing to take action. Sure, there might be a long way there, there might be a short way there. And it's your job to mitigate that. You got to figure out, well, what's the best way to do that? For me, just being able to make this video off my phone was something that I already experienced by a learning curve. And some people might listen to this and say, oh, that's no big deal. But it is a big deal, especially if you've never done it. And it's not that I've never done it, is I might have did it once or twice and I kind of forgot. And then when I put myself back in this space where I wanted to start creating content, I had to relearn that stuff. So now my goal now is I'm going to make that second nature to me. Now I know how to transfer this information into my computer, and I know how to edit my work, and that's what I'll do. I'll make it look better. I'll make it sound better, and then hopefully I can catch an audience. People will be interested in hearing what I have to say, and or just sharing what I have to say. If I can help anybody in any way, then that to me is already a victory. And it sounds like a trope out of a comic book, like if I could just save one person. The reality is that YouTube is a community of people helping people, and that's what I love about it. And it motivates me to the point where, well, you know what? I want to put my hand in the pot, and I want to contribute, and I also want to benefit from it. As far as watching videos, as far as gaining knowledge, you don't even know how many times I got stuck somewhere on something, and I would pull up a YouTube video. I am such a fan of YouTube, and the whole podcasting, the funny thing about it is that I've seen podcasting emerging, and the thing is, the only reason why I wasn't a part of it sooner is because I didn't take action. You have to take a slice of your life out of your daily function and commit yourself to doing something. And between work, coming home, eating, taking care of your kids, activities and so forth, that takes up a lot of your time. But you know what? If you sacrifice if you make time, you'll have time. Where I'm at in my life, I have nothing but time. Between work, coming home, I don't have a pet, so I don't have to feed any cats or any dogs or any cows, chickens, or whatever else you have. And as far as kids, all my kids are in their 20s. Or 20s and 30s. I don't have to worry about children. I got grandchildren, but then again, grandchildren aren't with me all the time. But I have a lot of time to create and put out video and put out content that people can listen to and find compelling. I just really like that space. This is my deal. This is what I was born to do. And the thing is, my reality is that I've seen as a young man. Let me ask Alexa. Alexa, what year did YouTube premiere?
Good morning, Edward. Video sharing platform YouTube was officially released to the public in its non-beta form in December 2005.
I was correct in thinking YouTube came out in 2005. We are now in 2024. So we're looking at almost 19 years of this platform being around. I remember the emergence of YouTube. It was something of, put up a video, check it out. And nobody understood algorithms. Nobody understood thumbnails. Nobody understood it. So a lot of times you take a look at it. Then you started finding out like people make money making videos. I was so late to the party on it, and I don't care. It doesn't matter. But the point is that the longer YouTube's in its space, it's going to become more popular. It's going to always be popular. I mean, if you have YouTube at home and you don't have cable, guess what? As long as you got an internet connection, you can watch a free movie. Because I basically have the free account. I pay for my subscription because I don't like watching too many ads, and I like my music off of YouTube. So I pay for that on a monthly basis. And then you see the slew of movies that are on there. I mean, it really has a lot for a lot of different people. I mean, if you want to watch movies, you can watch movies. If you want to watch old TV shows, you could go to YouTube and they'll have old TV shows. You want to watch old comedians on David Letterman, on Johnny Carson, you can go there and find those resources. So for me, that's something I really value with YouTube. And where I'm at in this space, I really feel comfortable making content and being part of that universe, being part of that space, because I consume, and like I said, I would also like to contribute. So in the last few days, I really concentrated on learning what I needed to do to produce my YouTube videos, and I had Wondershare, and I had that for a while because I was making, like I said, about a year ago, I had another YouTube channel. I put out a lot of content. I was taking action scenes from old karate movies and I was putting music to it. And because you know what, those movies, people love action. There's a lot of choreographed moves in those karate movies, and it's pretty cool. It's like a dance, man. And you got to figure, you got to watch a whole 2-hour movie or hour and a half movie to get maybe 15 minutes of action. So I said, let me slice and dice one of these videos, put some of the best action, and put music to it. I guess I'm from the music video generation because I grew up in the 80s, and in the 80s you had MTV, man. I mean, I just remember watching all the videos from the 80s of Billy Idol, Dexy's Midnight Runners, all those videos, different, any song that would come out, you were always quick to say, well, let me check out the video. The song's out on the radio, I wonder if the video's any good. So you'd watch the video, you'd have the music. Then they had shows like Friday Night Videos on Channel 7, ABC in Chicago. And Brant Miller was the VJ. If this is almost right about the time, you got to figure, if MTV was out, but you had to you had to be you had to be a little privileged to have MTV, because you had to pay for that. That was off cable. So the regular people like me whose parents weren't going to buy cable at that time in history, all we could do is wait for Friday night and watch the videos there. Sure, as things evolved, you had VH1, you had other TV shows and local TV shows that just put videos on all day. I mean, to me, that was a bygone era, because videos are not as compelling as they used to be. To me, it was just a buzz. And then I just started seeing MTV changing into something I didn't even recognize anymore. I mean, you had some shows that were kind of interesting, A Different World, or I don't know if it was A Different World, or whatever, reality. They kind of dabbled with reality shows. And you'd start watching that, but then you started realizing that that's not the MTV you grew up with. When they had heavy rotation on Billy Idol, heavy rotation on David Bowie, all these songs would be on constantly, and you'd be watching these videos, and then you'd have the VJ host come on. Those were good days. Those were good days for MTV. And I mean, I'm nobody. I don't understand the programming. I don't understand the demographics. And also, music changed. Music's always going to be music, but music from the 80s was really spectacular. I mean, I love my 80s music, and I'd be lying to you if I told you I didn't have any CDs. I got a couple hundred CDs from that era. Then you got Spotify, so a lot of my Spotify streaming stations are of old 80s, music. I mean, I'm a product of the 80s. I was a teenager in the 80s. That was my music, I mean, George Michael, Boy George, just to name Duran Duran, Loverboy. All those artists were putting music on. The Police, Every Breath You Take, Aha, all those artists were putting out music. It was a great convergence of music. Then in the later 80s, you had rap music coming out. It was a great time to listen to music. And even as a youngster, I had 45 records. I don't know if you're of my age, then you had 45s. And I took it a step further. I ended up buying a couple old jukeboxes that hold 45s. And I got quite a few, actually. It's very addictive to have jukeboxes. I have Seaberg. Seaberg was a brand. I have about 7 of those, and I have a couple Rockolas. And as far as diversity, those are the 2 that I went with. There's other jukeboxes, like from NSM and from Wurlitzer. And I said, I got to keep away from that. I'm going to go with Seaberg, because Seaberg was known to be a reliable jukebox that no matter how destroyed or how rough it was, you could always bring those jukeboxes back. I'm not saying that I bought messed up jukeboxes, but I wanted something that I know that I would be able to get back up and running. And if you spent any time around a jukebox, it's magical. It's like being around a time machine, because you get into the music, you start picking out music, and then the song that you pick takes you back to the moment that song was playing, and the things that were going around in your life. And if you're singing along, you're having a good time. And I've never had a bad time playing a jukebox. And the thing is that, yeah, music's attainable. I have wireless speakers. I have a cell phone. I have more music on my cell phone than I have on all my jukeboxes. But that's not the point, The thing is that it's a part of Americana. It's nostalgia. And if you have not experienced that, that's actually a different way of listening to music, and it's a very fun way to listen to music. And that's what I did. That's what I do in my spare time. I'll listen to my jukeboxes. I collect music. And I'm a content creator. That's kind of like what that's what I like to do. That's my whole mix, So this is my little premiere podcast for Digital Moxy. Be on the lookout for my other upcoming videos or upcoming podcasts. And hopefully we can get on subjects that people really enjoy. And hopefully I can strike a nerve with the audience and get some kind of dialogue, or share a little bit more about my journey through the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. It's kind of funny to think, to me, like my past is like, my deep past is the 70s. My most relatable time would be the 80s and the early part of the 90s. All the time that I was maybe, a younger man, single, and I could tell my stories. Not that I have a bunch of stories, because everybody has their own stories, and every story is specific to you as an individual. So the thing is that I have a lot of interests, that we could share on this podcast. I from UFOs to ancient architects to current affairs. There's always something to talk about. And I hope to bring that to you with Digital Moxy. So, like I like to tell people, since I like 45s and records and jukeboxes, I always tell people, I'll see you on the flip side.